All right, so we're continuing on and we're finding lines parallel and perpendicular to the given line and through the given point. Okay, so what do we need to do first? Well, we need to simplify this and solve it for y. So we're going to add 5x to both sides. So we get 2y equals 5x plus 10, divide by 2. So y equals 5 halves x plus 5. Okay, so our slope of the original line is 5 halves. So slope for the, okay, we'll do perpendicular first, then parallel. Perpendicular is going to be equal to, well, it's going to be the negative reciprocal. And so that would be our slope for the perpendicular. And the slope for the parallel is just, again, equal. So it's going to be 5 halves. Now what do we do? Well, now we plug it into our point slope formula. So we're going to take y minus y1, which is a negative 1. And that's equal to our slope. And let's go ahead and do perpendicular first. And that's a negative 2 over 5 times x minus, and we have a 5. So we could go ahead and we can make this positive. And so we have y plus 1 equals a negative. Now we're just distributing like we have been. 2/5 x. Negative times negative is positive. 5 cancels and we're left with 2. Now we subtract 1. And we get y equals a negative 2/5 x plus 1. Okay, and so that's the line perpendicular to the other one. Now what about parallel lines? Well, that's going to be y minus a minus 1 equals, now original one was 5 halves, so we're going to have 5 halves times x minus 5. Now again, we can say, okay, well that negative negative is positive, and we get y plus 1 equals, distribute, 5 halves x minus 25 over 2. Okay, now I subtract 1. Y equals 5 halves x. Now this one we have to multiply by 2 over 2, so we have negative 27 over 2 for our answer there. And that's going to be for the parallel line. And again, our slopes here are the same for parallel, and it's a negative reciprocal for our perpendicular. All right, one more here. All right, so what we need to do again is solve the first original equation for y, get our slope from there, and then we can go ahead and write our parallel and perpendicular lines to going through this point. So we'll subtract 4x from both sides. And that gives us 3y equals negative 4x minus 9, divide by 3. So y equals a negative 4/3 x minus 3. Okay, so our slope originally is a negative 4/3. So for parallel, m is equal to a negative 4/3. And for perpendicular, m is equal to the opposite of that, so it's going to be positive, and it flips over 3/4. All right, so for parallel, y minus, now we have a 1, equals our slope, which was a negative 4/3, x minus, and we have a minus 4. Okay, so we could go ahead again. Let's make that plus. So now we have y minus 1 equals, now we distribute, minus 4 over 3x. Now that's a minus, and that's going to be 16/3. Okay, now we have to add 1. So y equals negative 4 over 3x. Now I have to multiply that by 3 over 3, so we have a negative 16 plus 3, so it's going to be a negative 13 over 3. And then that will be the line parallel to our original one here. Okay. Now what about perpendicular? Well, for perpendicular, we're going to have y minus 1 equals, now it's going to be a 3/4 times x minus a minus 4. And again, we'll go ahead and demark that becoming positive. So we get y minus 1 equals, now we're distributing here, so it's going to be 3/4 x, and then here the fourths cancel, and then plus 3. Then we'll add 1. And so y equals 3/4 x plus 4. And that's the line perpendicular to our original line. All right, so that's all I have. So hope that helps.